What would you say, we have some specifics that we're going to get into here in a little bit, but what would you say just in general might be a flaw or a problem with this approach?
So I categorize my problems with street epistemology into two major categories. So on the one hand, there are methodological problems that I've found, and this talks about things like there's a sense in which this method might be a little manipulative, because in my experience, most atheists, before they encountered street epistemology, they were having these discussions where they were getting heated. They were just your stereotypical angry internet atheist, and this obviously doesn't apply to every atheist out there, but there's the stereotype exists for a reason. But a lot of these atheists were just angry, and they had these conversations with Christians and believers, and they weren't going the way that they really wanted them to go. And so they came across this new method, street epistemology, that allowed them to actually do what they wanted to do originally, but now they found this new method that does it better. And so it can be taken as sort of manipulative. So instead of actually loving the person that they're talking with and being respectful because this is another human being with intrinsic moral worth, instead of looking at it that way, it's like, well, I'm just going to be nice to this person so I can convince them to abandon their belief. And when you look at it that way, you can see that it could be seen as manipulative. And this doesn't mean that it's true of every street epistemologist. I'm sure that there are some out there who are genuinely nice people and who love others and just want them to come to the truth and that kind of thing. But I think in many cases, if not most, there is an element of manipulation that's going on. So that's on the one hand, that's the methodological problem. And there are others that I have, but that's one of the biggest ones.
Okay.
And then the second category is epistemology. And so these are, they call themselves street epistemologists, and epistemology is basically just the study of knowledge, and it's really an academic pursuit. So what they sort of assume when they go into these conversations is that their way of knowing is the right way of knowing. And that's an issue because these people are not professional epistemologists. They haven't really done much research into epistemology. They're essentially just going in with these assumptions about some really complicated topics in academia and in epistemology that they don't really have any business doing. And so that's on the epistemological side. That's one of the biggest issues, or probably the biggest issue that I have. And each of these can be broken down and explained. I mean, we could do that for hours, but those are the two basic categories of flaws that I see.